Kamal, I hope you're doing great. I wanted to record you this awesome solo. It's technically a warm-up solo, so it's great to warm up before you start your actual playing. And it's from a different book, so what I'm going to do is I'll take a picture of it and I'll post it in your Google Drive, and that way you guys can print it out at home or look at it on your iPad, however you want to do it. And yeah, it's actually pretty simple. So the main idea behind it is playing it to the metronome, right? So a great tempo would be 80. It's nothing too crazy. The fastest notes are 16ths here, so 80 beats per minute is like a great start, and then you can go to 90. 90 is pretty comfortable too, and then so on and so forth. So then go to 100, 110, and then however far you can get. So yeah, for the solo you really only just need 3 drums. So you need a bass, you need to make sure your hi-hat is slightly open so that you can close it and make a nice sound with your left foot, and then you just need your snare, and that's it. So you know, eventually I think we can start using a little bit more toms when you know kind of the rhythm behind it, and then that way it might be a little bit more fun for you. You can kind of create fills out of this. But for now, we're just gonna make sure both of our hands are on the snare, and we're alternating, you know, according to our kind of the rules that we've been learning lately. So what you want to do with your feet is you want to keep quarter note count. So your bass will be on 1, and your hi-hat will be on 2, bass on 3, and hi-hat on 4. So it's just quite simple, right? That's your kind of underlying beat, right? Sometimes some people just do bass, you know, you can do that too, but I think in this case here, this will be great to work on both of your feet, making sure that they're quite even. And I know we don't use the left foot very much, so this will be great for that too. So looking at the first line here, your hands are doing something very simple too. You start with quarter notes. So in this case, again, you're alternating and they're matching your feet. So you just go 1, 2, 3, 4, just like that. Super simple. I'll do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Make sure it happens right at the same time with your feet, right? The hands and the feet are kind of inseparable. They're really moving together, right? Now in the second bar, it changes slightly. There's a couple eighth notes. So here, you know, the tricky thing is making sure you're not doing, because you're speeding up your hands, right? You're going to the eighth notes. Make sure you're not doing, right, something fast on the hi-hat, right? So you're still doing the same beat with your feet, right? But now you're adding eighth notes with your hands. So this one sounds like this: 1 and 2, 3 and 4, right? And again, great exercises for working on your independence between your feet and the hands. I'll do it again. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. And you'll notice it's pretty common for the left hand to go with your hi-hat, right, or with the left foot. So, you know, now we're just getting more independent with both feet and hands. Yeah, so it should be quite easy. So the whole first line is like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. That's it. Now the second line, where it gets a little bit more exciting, we got a lot of eighth notes, but then in the second measure we add 16. So I'm just going to play it for you, and I think it'll be pretty straightforward. It's a great exercise too with the solo for sight reading. So if you want, you can always pause the video and see if you can get ahead a little bit on it. Maybe do the next couple lines and then check back with the video whether you did it right. So yeah, all of these, you know, eventually I think you'll be able to do just from scratch completely, just sight reading it. So here's your second line: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and a 2, 3 and a 4. So this is where, again, it gets a little faster because you're playing 16th, but again, your feet are always doing this, right? And while you're listening to the metronome, right, it's going to be great because you're working on keeping the same tempo, right, staying very consistent, and you're learning how to play it at different tempos too, right? So like I said, start with 80, go to a 90, and then so on and so forth. So I'll connect the 2 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and a 2, 3 and a 4. That's it. So again, just remember about this. And a very even movement, right? If you're not practicing on a drum kit, it's very easy too, right? Again, you can use 2 of your feet on the floor, right? And then a practice pad or whatever surface you want to play on. It's quite easy to kind of make it work. So this one is great for not being able to practice on an actual drum kit. Third line goes like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and a 4. 1 and a 3 and a 2 and a 4. Like that. So again, it's starting to incorporate more 16th notes, so it's kind of getting a little bit more exciting. So I'll do it again: 1 and 2 and 3 and a 4. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. And I'm counting aloud just to show you kind of how it all you know, comes together, you know, with the different note values. But you don't have to really count, you know, as long as you know what it's supposed to sound like, and then you should be good, you know? The counting just really helps to keep you on track and making sure you're on the right beat every time, right? Then the next measure comes, then it's your first beat again. So I'll connect the first 3 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and the 2, 3 and the 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and the 4. 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 4. Just like that. And eventually, you know, at the end, I'm gonna just play it without any count, so you get to hear what it's supposed to sound like without me talking through it. So next line, line 4. This one has lots of 16s. 1 and the 3 and the 3 and the 4. 1 and the 3 and the 3 and 4. And again. And again, you will notice if, you know, you have some sort of an imbalance between 2 of your hands, you know, because it might start doing something like that, right? That means maybe the left doesn't have quite as much energy, right? Since it is not our kind of leading hand right now, right? So we're working on your right quite a bit since you're right-handed. So you do use it a little bit more. So, but we want to even them out as much as possible, right? So just make sure nice and light hits, let them both bounce the same way. Remember, they shouldn't look like this, where your right, you know, lifts up a lot higher and then the left stays. They should really be even together, right? So I'll do it again. That's your first line. Now the 5th one here goes back to kind of the slower notes. Again, we go quarter note, 8th, quarter, 8th, 8th, quarter. With count 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. That's it. So super simple line, really similar to like the first couple, quite easy, right? And then the last part here goes like this. 1 and a 2, 3 and a 4. 1 and a 2 and a 3. And on 4, notice there's a rest above your hi-hat pedal. That means there's no snare in that part, right? So 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 4. 1 and the 2 and the 3, 4. Right? Nothing on that 4 again, right? So I'm gonna just play it all together, and then hopefully this makes sense. I'll do it a couple times. I'll do it faster the second time too, just so you get to hear what it sounds like a little bit faster. So here it is a little slower. There's your solo 9, the warm-up solo. And this time I'll do it a little quicker. Was a little bit faster, right? So I hope you enjoyed this, playing this solo at home. I think it should be good. If you want to start, you know, maybe here we'll do it next week like that, so we can kind of, like I was telling you before, we can kind of play it on the toms too, something like something like that too, you know, just for a little bit more fun if you want, and kind of getting used to moving around your kit very fluidly, right? But yeah, I hope this will make sense to you. Keep working on your homework from last week too, so you have some stuff in your own book, in the blue book, and then the solo should be great as well. So I hope you have a great week, and I'll see you soon. Bye.